I had just said,
Okay, the time is now 6:45. I'd like to call this special pension board meeting to order for June 26th, and we'll go with roll call.
Art Gagan.
Scott Redner.
Kevin Cunningham. And absent tonight would be Christy Haskell and Dean Bourne. All right, so we have some modified minutes. That way you can vote on it directly. Amended. The amendment here states who voted for what at the end, which was for the new business item. Scott, you did the second, I believe. That was the only modification that was in there. So it comes back to new business, and then the motion needs his art. New motion. For the monthly distribution.
Assuming that I didn't second the motion if I was absent. You want to correct that? I can't recall.
I know you were
No, he was there.
looking on the top, it says Kevin, Hart, Dean, Scott, with Christy Haskell.
Oh, okay. That's understood.
So I'll entertain a motion to accept minutes.
Make a motion to accept the meeting minutes for 13 March 23
As amended.
as amended.
Thank you. Scott?
I can second that.
All righty. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. New business, item number 1, consider to act on a pension distribution as requested. Should have in your packet. Louise Brostek is looking for a pension as she has been bookkeeper with the town for 13 years, 10 months. And she's looking for a commencement date starting July 1. And her annual pension of $73.58.88 will be broken up into monthly payments of $613.24.
I'll make a motion to approve the pension for Lois Brostek for $613.24 per month, starting 1 July 23.
Okay.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Other than we all are going to miss her because she's been an asset to the town of Plainfield and an excellent person, period. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That is our only item for pension for tonight.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. I'll have those back. So I can shred. The time is now 7 p.m. I'd like to ask that you start the Board of Selectmen meeting at this time and call for a roll call, please.
Art Gagan, you want to do pledge of allegiance?
Roll call after. Roll call now.
Art Gagan.
Scott Redner.
Kevin Cunningham, and now I'd ask that you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We've done a roll call already. Approve the minute meetings from a special Board of Select meeting from 5/17 and a special Board of Select meeting from 6/5. They're both in your packet.
I'll make a motion to accept the special BOS meeting minutes for 5/17/23 and the amended special BOS meeting minutes for 6/5/23.
Second.
Motion has been made by Art, seconded by Scott. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Before we jump into public comment, I wanted to add one more item in as an item for act on cancellation of the special town meeting for tomorrow. Is there a motion to add that?
I make a motion to add that to the agenda.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. All right, this time we'll have public comment. I would like to ask, though, if the public comment is made, and we have to, but a lot of people that may want to speak, so we're going to limit that to 2 minutes per person, if that's okay. So is anybody here from the public wishing to speak at this time?
Good evening. My name is Carla Desjardins. The item you just added, if this board moves to cancel the special meeting, I'd like to know what the communication plan is, because that would be less than 24 hours notice, which I realize is allowed. However, it's been advertised in the Turnpike Buyer, WINY, Nixle text messaging, Facebook posts, so it's critical that residents know if you move forward to cancel, that it's been canceled. And it's a short amount of time to notify a lot of people who may have gotten time off from work to attend this town meeting. So that's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from the public wish to speak at this time?
Naomi Smith, 96 Community Ave, Plainfield. Are you planning on bringing this back to the public, the meeting that you canceled?
No.
No, it's done? Okay, thank you.
Anybody else from the public wish to speak?
Frank Jack, 135 Seameadow Road. I have a question. What is the reason for you guys wanting to cancel?
Frank, I will get into that when we get to item F1A, because we will discuss it openly.
All right, well, that remains to be my question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else from the public wish to speak?
Rayna Russo, just looking to confirm receipt of my letter of interest for charter revision.
Yes.
Thank you.
And for those other people who are asking the same question, I can go around the room and say yes. They've been slowly coming in, so I do appreciate that very much. So we will get to that in a few minutes as well, because there has to be a modification there. Any other member of the public wish to speak at this time? Okay. Hearing none, we go into the old business. I have item 1, discuss and act on request by the Board of Police Commissioners for access to additional legal fees. I spoke to one of the commissioners today. They're not ready to bring that forward, so I would ask that we actually table this.
I make a motion to table item 1 for old business.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Item 2, consider an act on resolution creating a charter revision commission as part of Connecticut General Statute 7-188. It's on old business because we had it at the last meeting. We still have to wait until July to process this, so I jumped the gun on this, and item number 1 on the new business. So I would ask to table this as well.
Make a motion to retable this till July 24th.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item number 1, again, ties right into that, which is consider an act on adding members to the Charter Revision Commission as part of the Connecticut General Statute 7-190. Again, I would ask for a motion to table until July 24th.
Do you want to add that particular date? Because it's 30 days after in that time period. We'll just table it.
Well, you have a table. You can't start adding people until you have the commission.
We'll add to that.
Yep.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to table item 1 until July 24th.
Second.
Motion's been made and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Item F1A, to discuss and act on cancellation of the special town meeting that was scheduled for tomorrow. I did reach out and spoke to Mary Ann today. We're going to see if we can work something out so we can talk about actually making so the town, inclusive of that, any town properties, including the Board of Education, would have a better way to be able to present planning. So we're just starting that discussion now, and hopefully we can come up with something that works for everybody. So that's what we're starting to do. Therefore, we really won't need to bring back the item that we had for tomorrow's meeting. And that's really just it. Just to discuss it and act on canceling the meeting. So
Do you need
a motion to cancel.
I mean, to cancel the action also.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we cancel the action on this A2E general statute and cancel the town meeting for Tuesday, the 27th of June, 2023.
Motion's been made. Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Next one up is the discuss and approve proposed new ordinance 138, which is the floodplain management. It has a lot of pieces in it. In conjunction with the new maps to get this going. I'd give you a full weekend to kind of walk through and read through. I'm sure you might have a question or two for Mary Ann. This would be the time to do so. So, what's your pleasure on this one?
I posed all my before, she did a wonderful job rewriting.
Yeah.
I'm satisfied with what she did.
Great. So in that case, do we have a motion for item number 2, discuss and approve proposed new ordinance number 138, floodplain management?
I'll make a motion to approve the new ordinance 138 floodplain management and move it on to town meeting.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, item number 3. Now we're going to be discussing and setting a date. What we'd like to do is, instead of having multiple meetings, town meetings for different ordinances, to have it all in one night. We have the, as you can see in your agenda there, the fire marshal's request for inspections for permit fees, which is 137. We talked about the floodplain management, 138. 136 is the fire marshal's request. 137, an ordinance concerning the fixed assessment of real property located directly adjacent to the enterprise corridor zone. We talked about that in previous meetings. And number 138, which is the floodplain management ordinance. The other two that we had to discuss was ordinance number 8. Ordinance number 8 is concerning hours of opening and closing polls. The way the ordinance reads, it's from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. And that's the ordinance. So we'd like to be able to fix that to work with what is the actual hours that we usually have, which is 8 p.m. So that's number 8. Number 9 is the ordinance concerning, 19, ordinance concerning the property tax assessment date in the town of Plainfield. If we look at that, that one also is incorrect because it says September. So we'd like to be able to, again, add that to the meeting so we can modify that so it's correct to be October. So this is the time that I tell you the really fun news, which is we have multiple town meetings which are in front of us. We'll see a little later in the agenda that there is also something for number 4 to discuss and act on a DOT request for assessment. So this is for property on the Brunswick Ave. Then we had from the last Board of Finance meeting a request from the Board of Education to take monies from the fund balance of, I think it's $49,850, something to that effect. And therefore it would require a town meeting. So those are the things we have in play. I would say that we have, take a looking at the calendar before we set a date. I would like to work on doing the number 3, to add those all in for July 26th. Calendar. So we could probably set that for 7 p.m. Just looking ahead, we will probably need to do the other. I have a date in mind for the other two together. So that gives us plenty of time to prepare the legal notice, put it out, and advertise properly. But I would like to be able to do that on July 26th.
I have one question about these ordinances. The 2 that we're going to amend, we'll get new numbers, 139, 140.
Because the numbering system is, as long as they're approved.
Right.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to set a town meeting date for 26 July 23 at 7 PM at Town Hall for the purpose of enacting 3 ordinances and amending 2 ordinances.
Motion's been made in a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, item number 4, we were approached by DOT, discuss an act on a Connecticut DOT request to schedule a town meeting as required by Connecticut General Statute 13A-142B. We'll take a portion of the Damper property. It's the, not the, by eminent domain, but it's actually by easement. Yep. So this is something that if we've been following along with the state of Connecticut working on that piece of property owned by Valley Trail, they need a small piece of just an easement so they can continue on with the path in a proper format. So this would require a town meeting. We have some backup data. Unfortunately, I don't think it's in color. It's probably in black and white. So I think there's a page number, the very last page in that grouping that has the outline of the map of that actual property. Last one here. And then that's the easement portion of the trail. What's your pleasure on this one?
Should we have a date?
Well, that would be, yes, that would be July 12th.
Make a motion to set a town meeting for July 12th for purpose of acquiring a portion of Damper property in Brunswick Ave for the use of Valley State Park Trail
Via easement.
via easement. Did I say the date?
Yes. Yeah.
Said the date, did you say that?
7, it should be 7 p.m. Amended to
12 July,
Amended to 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We'll get the proper legal notice written up. Item number 5, I'm going to ask that we table this. This is a tentative agreement between the town of Plainfield and the dispatchers union. They have not ratified as of yet, so we'll ask to table this. Item number 5.
Make a motion to table item number 5.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item number 6, discuss and bypass procurement policy for approved community center upgrades in the town pool, as the contractor is on the state bid list. You have our recreation director here with us tonight. You have in your packet number 6. So you were looking for upgrades, but you were looking for a company that's on the state bid list, which is why it's listed as such.
Well, yes, but there's 5 separate
requests.
Why don't you go through step by step?
Sure. So the first request is to renovate the existing HVAC system on the recreation side of the building. That is with DEF. They are based in Plainfield, and they are listed on the state bid list. That request is...
Excuse me, could you take the microphone?
Sure.
We can't hear over here. Thank you.
Sure. All right, so the first request is to renovate the existing HVAC system on the recreation side of the Recreation and Senior Center. The request is for DEF to remove the existing unit and install an LG ductless split primary heating and cooling system. The reason being is DEF is approved on the Connecticut state bid list. So that request is for $18,469.09.
And that's because of the $14,720 rebate?
Correct. So that's request number one.
Why don't we take them one at a time?
Sure.
That makes it a little easier.
Sure.
So for item 6, number 1 is to renovate HVAC system through DEF. Any questions? And again, it's they're on the state bid list. So
Correct.
it makes it a little easier. Entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the bid for DEF in the amount of $18,469.09 for the HVAC service.
Motion's been made. Questions? That's fair enough. Thank you. All right, so I will second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And one recused. Okay. Item number 2.
The second request also involves DEF to improve the exterior lighting around the Recreation and Senior Center. The current lighting is inadequate, therefore there's a safety concerns when we had afternoon and evening programs. In the parking lot, there's just pedestrians entering and exiting the building as well as traffic. So that request is for $5,935.40.
As this is DEF, they're also on the state bid list as well.
Yep, same company.
Any questions?
Just one question, being this is a different proposal, and it's under 10,000, do we have to vote on it?
You don't have to, he just wants to bring it to you just so you know the whole, we could have voted on the entire package this way.
You want to vote on it?
We don't have to. It's on the state bid list and it falls underneath that section of the procurement policy, so we don't have to.
Yeah,
I appreciate it, you know,
thank you.
hearing them out with all of them, yeah.
I guess similar situation along, this next request is under 10,000 as well. This is plumbing improvements to the Recreation and Senior Center. This is with McCourt and Sons. So this request is to replace several toilets throughout the building with ADA compliant toilets, as well as changing out the current water meter at the building. So currently on the senior side of the building we have a 2-inch yoke. We're looking to reduce it down to 1 inch per recommendations from Connecticut Water. So essentially the one that we have now, we've actually been billed, the way Connecticut Water works is they bill you based on per gallon and the size water meter. And the one that we've had is just not necessary. So for this, for quite some time, we've been billed at a higher rate. So we're looking to, this will actually save money.
The only question I had about this one is,
Sure.
only because I was asked last week, the sink in the
We'll get to that.
Yep.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, and that's a relatively minor repair, but yes, so that will either be addressed by LaPorte. We'll buy the kitchen faucet ahead of time that they'll install, or worst case scenario, Ron, our building maintenance can
Just so I can give an answer.
Sure,
Thank you.
sure. Yep.
For the residents, one question that the question was about the sink, and if you go into where the main area is for the hall area, there's a sink in there that has a swivel on top of it that says, "Don't swivel me."
Yes.
So that sink has been needed of repair for a few years, and you'll take care of that with the regular maintenance monies, as well as the water fountain.
Yes, yep, a couple other things to note. New dishwasher in the full-size kitchen, as well as potentially hot water going to the sink as well. But yeah, so this request is for $5,056.35. Again, that's a quote from the Portland Sons. The next one is for the pool and locker rooms. So for the men's locker room, we'd like to replace the current chairlift that is in the locker room. This is with National Seating and Mobility. They are our current vendor, so like we have a contract with them to service the current chairs that we have, as well as the wheelchair lift side of this auditorium. So this would require a bid bypass. So we have a current relationship with them. Because of that, they've quoted us a 10% discount. Will not charge us extra for removal and disposal. So therefore, I'm requesting a bid bypass for this. The request for the men's locker room is $6,633. And then I actually have the next request is the same for the women's. Same amount, same reason.
Just out of curiosity, how old are those?
I'd say approximately 20 years.
Unless there's any other questions?
Okay, the only question on that one is, are these going to be done at the same time, therefore paying the same person? So then it would be a total of $13,266?
Yes.
So that we would have to
Well,
that.
yes. I guess they did break it up into two invoices, so if you guys decide to approve one and not the other, I guess it depends on how you guys vote. Is how much it would actually cost. So.
Probably, I know you did break it down between the women's pool and the men's pool. What are we adding them together? Is this a state bid, or is this the only vendor?
It is, we have a current contract. That's, as far as only vendor in this area, yes. I'm sure we could get someone from out of state.
It'll cost much more because they're coming in. Yep.
And I'll make a motion to bypass the procurement policy and go with National Seating and Mobility for the female and male chair lifts in the amount of $13,266.
There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, in number 7 in your packet, a little bit of background data. First item in there is a copy of what we have in ARPA monies. But the item here we're talking about, for item 7, discuss an act on expenditure of ARPA funds for purchase of a 6,000-gallon fuel tank for the replacement of the highway, for placement at the highway department. So there's a breakdown there of what we have currently for ARPA monies. There is a couple of quotes that you have in front of you. Sometimes it's shocking when you get a quote from a company how much roughly it's going to cost you. This is a 6,000-gallon tank that we're looking to supplement up at the highway department so we can save money and have it stored at a larger capacity and therefore won't have all the delivery charges. So we have quite a few. So you'll see the two companies that are there, Eagle Tanks And you also have one from EnviroSafe. These are required as above ground. Both of them would come with the fuel release, so you can actually pump right there.
Highway Department have any?
Just that they would be helping to put the pad up to make it so it'll be safe and secure.
They have no comments on it, because I see it's for prices.
Yeah, well, they were looking at the Eagle tank at this point.
There seems to be two options with Eagle Bank, from what I can see. One has a platform on it as well.
Yeah.
So more expensive out, just that, it seems to be the
And
same.
and it's also a double line, a different type of double line.
No recommendation.
A brief conversation, and really it's what we've been talking about doing for a long time. I think they were okay with the Eagle tank at this point. It seems though we are taking from our funding for this item, just so that we make sure that if there's a motion that would be included in the motion.
No space restriction. I see one small.
We can actually put, if we do things right, we can actually put two of these tanks up there, but I think we should start with one.
I'll make a motion that we expend from the ARPA funds $58,078.46 for a $6,000 gallon tank for the highway department from Eagle Tanks.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Item number 8 is, we were talking about making sure that we have everything in line with end of the fiscal year, which is the 30th of the month, coming up very quickly. So we have a few things which are still out to bid. The special bids that are out there right now for the new electronic sign in front of the Plainfield Police. There is a bid that we opened the other day for the new truck for the fire marshal, a bid on the Plainfield Police Station evidence shed, and a bid on the Plainfield Police Foundation. So I will let you know that the item that we're talking about with the truck would also be anticipated coming out of ARPA monies. So we opened the bid yesterday. I'm sorry, today. Opened the bid today. So this is something I'd like to be able to work with the Board of Finance for a meeting on Thursday, immediately following our special meeting. The problem is that we're waiting for bids to be opened, and the last one that gets opened is actually the one that Thursday morning. So I know it's difficult, but we just want to make sure our paperwork is correct as far as approval to do that process. So those are the items that we have. We also have one more item on there, and that is for Shepherd Hill sidewalks. And I can include that in the package as well. So you've got those items, you've got line item transfers that cover everything to be sure it works properly, and you've got the Shepherd Hill sidewalks, which just recent notification today. So those are the things I'd like to be able to do if possible. I know it's difficult, but if it's possible on Thursday at 6 o'clock, and use an opportunity then to have an immediately Board of Finance meeting if possible, right after that, so they can move through the schedule. So what's your pleasure on number 8, if that's okay? Special meeting at 6 o'clock on Thursday?
Make a motion to set a special Board of Selectmen meeting for Thursday, July 29th, 23 at 6 o'clock here at the Town Hall.
That's what I'm looking for, at least I'm not available that night.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. And I do appreciate your time because it's difficult sometimes to put a special meeting in. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number 9 is discuss an act on a public bid for the old Plainfield High School annex demolition. And if you're looking at number 9, we did a bid opening on June 20th at 11 a.m. 13 companies did the pre-bid and 7 companies did actual bid numbers. So it was looking rather dire because the first 3 we opened were for $797,745 and $766. Then you see in your paper there where the rest of them came in from. So we do have one that meets numbers because we as a town voted to expend up to $500,000. The other things we would have to do with this is, I mean, there's a lot of steps after we approve the company, but there's a lot of other steps we have to do. I'd like to be able to have the Plainfield Historic Society and a few others go up to take pictures at the site. I want to make sure that we're working with the police department and fire department in case there's any need for crowd control and or looking to do some dust mitigation so that the fire departments are working with it if needed to set up a schedule. This is definitely going to be done in the summertime. As soon as we approve this tonight, we would move to call them tomorrow to say, here's our schedule, see if we can adhere to it. It's a 6-week schedule with 1 week extra for weather or miscellaneous items. So we would have to coordinate that with this company. The other things we would have to do would be to make sure that it is completed within a 6 or 7 week period and be done so that there's no issues with school opening back up. There's a few other things that have to be done as well. But I'd like to be able to contact one of our environmental companies to have them here on site, because you'd like to have somebody here before, during, and after, so they can do the data and collect the data for environmental issues, if any. Those are the things we're thinking about right now. So with that in mind, you can see that the way the bids came in, there is one company that bid for $317,425, and they break it down into demolition costs for $269,425, removal for $40,000, and fill, loom, and hydroseeding for $8,000. So with that, that's what we have. Everybody had to have a pre-bid meeting, everybody had to have their licensing, and everybody had to have their insurance.
Make a motion to accept Best Tech's bid for $317,425 for the removal removal of the high school annex.
Craig's made the motion.
Yeah, just a little comment.
Yeah.
I was a little bit surprised to see that it was almost less than the line on the bidders, which made me wonder, are we missing anything? But they seem to be a pretty solid company. They do this.
Thank you. I think to give some detail as to a question or a concern, they're looking to have this as one of their items on the resume. They think they can get done very quick. So that's why they did that bid. So a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, one minor one I want to add in was discussion and act on the July 12th town meeting, so that we can also approve requests for fund balance of monies to expend from the town fund balance for the feasibility study by the Plainfield Board of Education. So if we can add that to the agenda, I would like that, if that's possible.
It's number 10.
That would be number 10.
I'll make a motion to add that to the agenda.
And a second. Thank you. All in favor, say aye. Sure. Discuss and act on July 12th town meeting to approve expenditures from the fund balance for the feasibility study from the board. Motion.
Was that 49,985?
Actually, it was, we'll get the exact number because the Board of Ed has to actually act on it, but it'll be under 50,000. I believe it's going to be 49,850. Motion's been made and a second to add to the agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, not much to say. I know they were there. The Board of Education came in front of the Board of Finance to request the monies. Feasibility study is done by an independent company. They went out to bid, and the winning bid, they'd like to proceed with the winning bidder. But in order to do that, they have to go to a town meeting to have it approved by the board. So they'll do a presentation that night. Board of Finance approved to move on to move forward with it, so that's why we had to pick a date. The reason why I picked July 12th is because we can do that and also do the other meeting, which is the state DOT, get those done that night.
I'll make a motion to move this Board of Ed appropriation to a town meeting for July 23 at 7 p.m. here at the town hall.
Motion and a second has been made. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. And that is pretty much it. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
May I be addressed to follow up on my public comment?
Not really.
Public comment wasn't addressed.
What was the
I
question?
asked for the communication plan.
Oh,
the
no, we'll
cancellation.
definitely be putting it out as best we can. Obviously, we can't put it in the newspaper, but we can put it out into the Nixle. We can put it up on the town website, on the Facebook page. So we have all those avenues right now.
Will anyone be physically present here tomorrow night at 7, or will residents who do not receive that information be met by a note on the door?
Probably both. And now we can conclude.
Could you clarify the reason for the cancellation?
You heard it before, right?
Could you please repeat it for the record?
Because we will be working with the town to see if we can come up with a regulation modification so we can address all of our issues.
Point of order, Mr. Chair. The item agenda G, that's what.
That's only if we have other items to discuss. Right now, there is none.
Wasn't the 75-foot rule listed?
Oh, it is. I thought I took that out. Update for the 75-foot rule. I thought I took that out of there. Get back to. Alrighty, there is a Connecticut general statute which came into question at our last town meeting vote. This is Connecticut General Statute 9-236 and 236A. So we have a restriction of when you go to vote for the polls, it's just a sticker that says I voted today. What we had instead was someone who was in the 75-foot radius who had inside the polling place had a written sign on their shirt, and we asked them to be either covered up or to leave. They did neither, so I just wanted to let everybody know that Connecticut General Statute is there for the 75-foot rule. That does include wearing of any items during a vote for it, like that was a town vote for budget season.
I have a point of information.
Anything else?
Mr. Conti?
Entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay. Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 7:42. Okay, the time now is 7:43. We'll start our WPCA meeting for June 26th. Call to order. Roll call.
Art Gagey.
Scott Burton. Kevin Cunningham. Item C, to approve the minutes of the special WPCA meeting dated May 22nd, 2023.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for May 22nd, 2023.
Abstain, I'll second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, item D, public comment for WPCA. Hearing none, old business. Discuss and act on request from a resident for sewer hookup fees located at 135, 143 Ward Ave. And in item 1, you can see that we have what was written to us by the attorney, who just happens to also serve as a chairman of the WPCA meeting in Stonington. So he doesn't see any reason to change the charge. I would then entertain motion as what you want to do. I know that I would say at this point it would be appropriate to leave the current charges as is, as presented to the owner of that property.
His request is to not pay.
Correct.
So I'll make a motion to deny the request for property on 135, 143 Ward Ave.
Motion's been made to deny. Any other discussion? I'm sorry, second. Okay. Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Under new business, discuss and approve requested line item transfers. You'll see there are a few things that they made sure that they concluded before the end of the month for WPCA. WPCA has a little bit of money left over. That's why they were able to offset the shortfalls. The shortfalls are coming in from salaries, and it's going to go to the following items: to educational training for OSHA requirements for $610, repair and maintenance for the increased costs and lead time for equipment for $29 grand, the contract lab fees, which is also an increased cost for $1750, chemical materials, again, an increased cost for every time there's a seasonal change, it adds value to that. Telephone cost, 2 new iPad Wi-Fi services are required, so there's $800 there. There's an unknown fee for 2 plant permit applications and plant applications, $7,220. Water, there was a water main break in the village plant that during the winter season needed to fix, so there's an extra $800. Vehicle repair for $2,600 for a frame on a truck versus getting a new truck. Equipment replacement for manholes brought up to grade. They were paved over by the state, and I'll mention that in a second a little further. Debt service principal and interest are listed there as well to cover. So they're asking to transfer $76,431 from salaries to cover the shortfalls. Now I'll go back and talk about the manhole covers. State of Connecticut along Route 12, instead of marking out and not paving over the manhole covers, did so. So we expended some money as we made some of it back.
I remember doing that. I was going to ask Stephanie if she was here. Did we get reimbursed?
As of right now, no.
Okay, but they're supposed to.
They're working on it.
She said yes.
Yep. Getting money back from the state of Connecticut is
Yeah.
a little longer. So what's your pleasure for the line item transfers?
I'll make a motion to approve the line item transfers in the amount of $76,431.
Motion's been made.
Second.
Scott seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, so I just wanted to, this is informational only. You can see that during our line item transfer discussion, there were a lot of things where fees were going up and up. But item 3 is just an informational item only. This is the Metropolitan District, and they're telling Stephanie that the increase of the fees is coming. And it's something that we have to consider for definitely for our next budget. They have monies available for it right now, but again, it's going to continue to rise and rise. So we may have to do a line item transfer in the middle of the year to cover some of the shortfalls when it happens. So that was just for informational only.
You don't know this covered.
And with that,
Make a motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn. Scott seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's 7:49.